I mean, I'll give it a shot.
It's just like watching Ben Shapiro talk or something. It's not that bad.
All
That
right.
is
Oh,
not bad.
geez.
Once
That
you
is
get
not bad.
used to it, you won't be able to kind of go back. I always watch YouTube like a little sped up now.
Oh no, I think I most identify with Jem in this room. And Jem, what are you thinking about this video that we're about to watch? Is this something that you would watch?
Yeah, this
Oh
is
God, you're
Honestly, the
women's
whole
lying.
thing makes me
She
laugh.
doesn't give a fuck about men. What are you talking about?
Jim, come
It's
watch
not that
this.
I don't give a fuck about men. Who said I don't give a fuck about men?
That was fire. You can ignore him. Just come watch the video.
It's interesting how those so-called Catholics just bounce after we started the event.
I'll watch your little shit thing.
Kaysan, Ellie, they're not real Catholics. All
I'm
right.
not a Catholic, but I'm gonna
No,
watch your
I
little
know,
weird
I
ass
know. Yeah,
video.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's
Jim,
not.
come
I
watch.
don't
Come
even
watch.
believe in
All I'm
God.
saying is that those two people claim to be Catholics, and they just bounce when we're like, "Yo, we're having a meeting." All
Oh,
right.
you're getting converted, Jem.
I'm not getting converted. I'll
So
never
I
believe
just
in
want to make
God. Do you know
clear
how
this room is
long
not a
people have
room of
tried to convert
conversion.
me?
We don't Catholics don't believe that anything we say or do is going to convert anybody. It has to be the work of the Holy Spirit. So
Oh
just
no,
to be
like I've
clear,
been taken to all sorts of churches.
yeah,
I
that's not
don't,
gonna
I
that's
just,
not gonna do it.
I, yeah, I went to Lutheran school for a while. I don't believe. I just don't. I believe in Earth Mommy, not Sky Daddy.
Is everybody here that wants to participate? Got four
You fight.
people.
Come watch.
I'm already
Rose is
here.
in. Fight's here. Psycho, are you there?
She got hungry.
I think
They were
she's
talking
yeah,
about
I think she's
breakfast.
just been AFK. All right, here we go. So today's topic, drama queen. This is why women are unhappy.
Have such unhealthy relationship with ourselves. Why are we so unhappy? Why are we so insecure and lack confidence in ourselves? I like to explain it from understanding that men and women are wired differently. And that's why I have a different solution for women and a different solution for men in our relationships and in our marriage. And there's a photo that I like to use. On the left side, at least how I'm looking at it, it's my left side. On the husband's brain or a man's brain, men are pragmatic and they are problem solvers. And then on the right side, where it says a wife's brain, or we can substitute and say a woman's brain, the tracks are going every which way. And that's because as women, we are highly emotional and we make ourselves very complex and very complicated beings. And in society and therapy and the books we read and talking to our friends all validate and enable this belief in ourselves that we are highly complex, highly emotional, and complicated. And it is this belief that we are emotional and complex and complicated that we as women have such an unhealthy relationship with ourselves and so unhappy. As women, buying into this belief that we are highly emotional causes us to have low emotional intelligence in life, meaning we are not in control of our emotional state. Whereas on the other hand, men are wired to be pragmatic. They're wired to be problem solvers. So they are in the best way simple and move into a solution oriented way of thinking to find solutions to the problems that come up in life. As women, we've made ourselves so complicated and so complex that we don't go into problem solving. We get trapped and stuck in our emotional state. And we don't realize that that low emotional intelligence, that inability to be in control of our emotional state, feeds our victim stories of why we have low self-esteem, why we can't seem to get ourselves together, why we feel like we don't know who we are, why we feel disconnected or a sense of emptiness in ourselves. And we live life as victims, meaning believing that our experience of ourselves has happened to us, that our life is happening to us, and it's someone or something else like our husbands who are responsible for our unhappiness. And in this place, when we are victims, we can't change. And when we allow our external world, like our husband, our marriage, our career, our kids, our family, to be in control of our experience, we give our power away and we have no ability to change. And we stay stuck in having low emotional intelligence. What we don't realize is that it isn't the people and things in our lives that cause our experience. It is the internal experience of ourselves,
Yeah,
our
personally,
internal
the
emotional
sped up
state
version
that
is
creates
just
the
no.
experience that we have of our different relationships, like our marriage, our career, our kids, etc. That determines the lens and the perspective of which we see and view our lives. And as women living in low emotional intelligence and putting the power outside of us to the people and things to determine our experience of ourselves, that's where we get caught and constantly blaming our husbands and looking to what is it about them and who they are and how they are showing up or not showing up that's causing the experience that we're having of our marriages and that we're having of ourselves. And we never realize that it's the unhealthy relationship that we have with ourselves buying into this myth, an idea that we are complex, highly emotional, and that we That's just how we live our lives, and that's just how we are. That's the very thing driving us to have an unhealthy relationship with ourselves. Because when we are not in control of our emotional state and we are living in low emotional intelligence, we live from an internal state of being sped up, emotional,
Sean, you're fucking
worried,
hot micing.
creating problems in our lives, and living in blame, which again, from that place, then we can never change. So what happens is we watch ourselves make the same unhealthy choices, have the same unhealthy reactions to life, and we feel very bad about ourselves. And we begin to feel, because we never change, because we're living in victim and putting the power and control outside of ourselves, we never change because it's impossible to change as a victim. So what happens is we watch ourselves make those same unhealthy choices, have those same unhealthy reactions, is we begin to think there's something wrong with us, that there's something about us that we just can't change, and we're defected in some way. And that at the core of that, we feel internally that we are wrong, that who we are is wrong and bad. So the solution of what us as women need to do to build a healthy relationship with ourselves and to be happy, so that then we can have a happy marriage and a healthy, happy, loving relationship with our husbands, is that we have to learn to develop high emotional intelligence, the ability to be in control of our emotional state, to recognize that our emotional state is coming from us, that it's not happening to us because of our past or our relationship with our dad or from our husband or anything or anyone else in our lives, that it is our response to life that creates our internal emotional state. So we have to learn to be in control of that, which is developing high emotional intelligence. And that's what I teach women how to do in my happiness program, and then in a more advanced way in my happy wife program. But the foundation first, before a woman can work on her marriage and work on what I call being a happy wife, we have to have the foundation of being happy within ourselves, meaning knowing how to have a healthy relationship with ourselves, learning how to develop high emotional intelligence and have healthy responses and reactions to life, and be able to see the truth of our husbands in our marriage and to see them as good, to see them as good men and how they do show up caring and loving and kind. It's only our relationship with ourselves that makes us see it any differently. And what we want to understand is that underneath the complexity that we have built ourselves to be as women, what we want to understand is that is not our true nature. And when we live from that perspective of being not in control of our internal emotional state and having low emotional intelligence, it covers up the true nature of who we are as women. So the beauty is that when we learn to develop high emotional intelligence, we unlock the true nature of who we are internally. And what you will find, and this is what I found for myself, is that we are simple, happy, calm, grounded, genuinely flexible and easygoing, stable, adaptive, soft, kind, and we can live from what I call our woman wisdom, the ability to understand ourselves, the ability to understand how we make issues and challenges complex and project our high emotional state onto situations so that we can catch ourselves and actually train ourselves to go into problem solving and being pragmatic so that we are not reacting to life from a place of not being in control of our emotional state. And what happens when we train ourselves to do that, and we have the capacity, it's already in us. There's nothing we're missing. There's nothing that happened to us as kids or happened to us in our upbringing that would prevent us from being able to be in control of our emotional state. What happens when we live from that place of high emotional intelligence is we begin to feel good about who we are, and we begin to be confident in ourselves. We begin to trust ourselves and learn to navigate life from a place of being pragmatic and from a place of being able to problem solve, which just makes us feel that much better about ourselves, because we show ourselves that we are important to ourselves, that we matter, that we already have everything we need within ourselves to be successful and navigate life. And that all comes from being in control of our emotional state.
All right.
Jim,
All
what
right,
do you
free
think?
discussion time. What's that near?
Oh no, I was asking Jim what she thought about that.
Oh my god, that was so much bullshit.
What did you disagree with in particular?
Well, the fact that, so she's basically saying that men have the right to act however they want to act, whenever they want to act, do whatever they want to do, and women need to control themselves. She's saying that men are, but the fact of the matter is, men are taught to suppress their emotions, whereas women are not taught to suppress our emotions. We're taught to feel our emotions, and not necessarily to the extent that some women feel their emotions, but like we feel our emotions. And the fact of the matter is that if we are basically men during our periods, that just goes to show you like how men really are. Like if you guys like criticize us when we are basically being exactly as you are, how do you think you guys are?
Disciplined. We're disciplined, and you're not.
No,
So
no,
what
you're
it
not
is that
disciplined. There's a difference
what it is.
between
Okay,
there's a
you're over
difference
talking me.
between
I'm answering. You're over talking. So what it is that it's not that men are suppressing or oppressing, right? We are normally regulating our emotions. Okay, and you are
no,
not.
you guys are
That is
not
what's
like
happening. We don't put us negatively. Don't connotate negatively our experience with the universe. We're not being
I'm not
suppressed
saying it's
naturally. I'm
negative.
telling you that it's a good thing. And because you are undisciplined with your emotion as a female, that's a bad thing.
No, I'm not undisciplined with my emotion as a
Yeah.
female. I'm undisciplined with my emotion because I have borderline personality disorder, which is an emotional regulation disorder.
And
I
honestly, you
I
have
didn't
no right.
mean
You have
you
no right to
personally.
say that. You
I
have no
meant
right to say that. I don't
generally.
give a fuck what religion you're from. You don't get to talk to women like that. You're not better than her because you're a male.
I don't
Oh,
think
thank
that
you,
was like the
feminist.
point of the
My
video.
point is that about dysregulation is not what my point was. I didn't know you had this disorder. I was talking generally about females, not you personally. Sorry about your problems.
Okay, but
Right.
you are talking to me. So the fact of the matter is, you're rebutting to me, and I'm letting you know that as a woman, not all women take everything emotionally. There was a
Right.
point in time I had a head injury, which fucking made me a little bit more loony.
Yeah. Okay.
Before that, I didn't emote. I could suppress things, I could control things, I didn't react to things.
In his defense, you seem to be taking this rather emotionally.
Well, I am on my period right now. So I'm acting like a dude. Can't help it.
That's fine. I think that's
Dudes
very
don't
And what's
emote
mature
like
wrong
to
with
that.
that?
realize that, right? Like
Dudes don't emote like that.
so I think
You know what?
hold on.
Exactly.
Dudes do emote like that if they're
I think
No, they
healthy.
don't.
I think that's very healthy, right? For you to acknowledge that, hey, and let people know I'm on my period right now. I think that's a sign of emotional intelligence, right? Because I think it's okay for women to express that, because that's setting boundaries. That's pretty good.
Please announce your periods, ladies.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I know it's all my stuff. Peeing, pooping, periods. I don't care.
I think the point she's trying to get is not that men are better in this way necessarily or that, but if you have like a
Are you
situation where there is
mansplaining me?
conflict that maybe
Well,
no,
No,
I'm
Jem.
trying to
well,
respond to
the
her.
Old
Excuse
Is there
Testament
any other
says a
kind?
lot.
Is there
It
any
says
other
a lot
kind?
about. It says a lot about women on their periods, right? Like if they sit on a couch or a chair, like during their periods, like it's considered unclean, right? And a
Yeah, the video isn't about women on their periods.
Nobody said it was.
No. I'm talking to wiseape.
But like I think that
And I've heard it attracts the bears.
her stating what she stated about women needing to control their emotions, like people are supposed to emote. Emoting is healthy. Like
Why?
because it lets you get stuff out and it makes it so that you don't go psycho inside.
All right, all right. I got one
Nonsense.
question. Is
Nonsense.
Abismo after you were the one who presented this video, right?
Hmm.
Are you fucking married, dude? There's no
No.
way. I
Yeah,
didn't
he's
think so.
married.
He said no.
Yeah, no, I'm not married.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Nope.
The fuck is wrong? Okay, okay. You know what? Honestly, I'm at a loss here.
Well, I'm just saying, as somebody who went through dialectical behavioral therapy, that video is exactly the opposite of what they teach you to do emotionally in order to regulate your emotions. They actually teach you to lean into your emotions, but not externally, internally, so that you feel it, but you don't act upon it.
In
Yeah, I
other
think
words,
that's
be
what I think
She's
that's
disciplined
what
basically
like a man.
saying
I think
have
that's what
no
no,
emotions.
I don't think that's what she's saying. I think that's precisely what she's saying, right? That's what emotional intelligence
That
is to recognize what you're feeling, right? So you don't like react to
But you're
your
allowed to
emotions.
It's
cry,
like
and you're allowed to do
using your
you're
third
allowed to cry,
eye.
and you're allowed to
Have you
get
heard
mad,
your
but you're
third
not
eye?
allowed to, like, punch somebody in the fucking
Do you
face,
know what a
like
third eye is?
yes, I do know what the third eye
Have you
is.
studied the third eye?
I've not exactly, I've tried to open mine, but
You're
It's
talking about the
third
pineal
person
gland?
perspective. It's seeing yourself from
The
outside of
Bible fight.
yourself.
You're
yeah,
talking
and
about the
you know
pineal
what? I
gland?
can't do that because my brain is black and white.
Okay, again, this is not about you, generally
I
speaking.
understand that, but you're saying that, and I'm just letting you know personally, I can't do that because of
And right, each of her answers always reminds me of that person trying to show you something, and the female in the picture, but she has to put herself in the picture to take a picture of anything important.
Yeah,
well, you're
women are
talking to
naturally
me.
women are
So, I
Yeah, but I'm
naturally
mean,
talking
solipsistic.
generally, and you keep making it about you.
Yeah, women are naturally solipsistic. They're always going to do that.
Right.
Oh, somebody's getting beat up.
I think the important, like, I don't think it's an issue. I don't think her point, like the woman in the video, her point was like that men are better in this way and women are not, or something like that. It's just like literally started the video, right, saying that men and women, right, approach like reality maybe differently, right? I mean, there's things that we can agree on, and obviously, in the context of like a relationship, like there needs to be like a mutual understanding of each other's relationship. But if we start with the recognition that men and women, approach the world differently, right?
Well, honestly, like I'm not trying to be an asshole here either. Like, and I know that's unchristian of me to even use the word asshole, but like abysmo, like if you're not married or you don't have a girlfriend, like have you had any serious relationships?
Yeah, my last serious relationship was like maybe 4 years ago. I've dated since then, but
And do you have sex before marriage?
yeah, I have.
Well,
aren't
isn't
you
that
not
I'm not
breaking
I'm
supposed to
not
rules?
do
proud of it.
that?
I'm
Yeah.
not proud of it, but yeah, yeah. But I'm a weak man.
John, this seems very irrelevant.
It
What is
is.
like the point you're getting to here?
Yeah, it's pretty
What's my
irrelevant to
point?
the discussion.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Was
it
like
seems very honestly, in my opinion, I'm a dude, right? I have a
Yeah.
penis, but like it
yes.
seems very
So what's your take on
misogynistic. It
hold on.
seems very misogynistic, like the
Mhm.
way that video went. Like it's like the woman needs to comply. The woman needs to, it seems like such a one-way street.
Mhm.
It's just it's
Like
bullshit.
we should
I
be
don't.
brainless.
Yeah, like
I don't
That's
think
really
that's
how
what
we're
that is. I
Brainless
think
approaching
and
that's a
in the
everything.
gross
kitchen.
I
Interesting.
think that's a
Disciplined.
gross misinterpretation of what the video was trying to convey. What she was saying effectively, the way I understood it, is like that women need to cultivate equanimity a lot more. So it's not shutting down and bottling up your emotions. It's like you're doing this constant like awareness of your emotional state, but instead of automatically identifying it and maybe crashing out or whatever, you take a high position cognitively, and
but
you like
you
are what?
the subject of the video, the woman herself is like a short, unattractive, fat woman. Like she doesn't have any power anyways. Like she doesn't protrude it like most
Well,
women
what
do.
hold
Like that's not
hold on.
I
Yeah,
don't think that
Why does that
necessarily
work?
in
has
the
anything
video
to do with
is
anything.
married, and
I
so
don't
Does
really like, I
that
GM
don't
in the
seems that
video?
seems
agree.
a very
Like,
misogynistic way to interpret, what she's saying. That seems like a very materialistic way of evaluating like the content of what she has to say. To be quite honest, Bean, I think you're being a little bit misogynistic there.
I just look at the
Like, you
merit
don't
of
know
the
this
person
person,
that's
right?
stating those facts and like she
It's
looks
all an
like
ad
somebody
hom.
that nobody would date or
So
fuck in the
do you
first
All
think
it's
it
place.
is
all an ad
impossible
hom.
for a man to love a woman if she's not quote unquote conventionally attractive? Is that what you believe?
Not a man like me, motherfucker.
All right. Well, then that's
You
just
sound like
you.
a coomer,
Is
buddy.
It sounds
is
like a
this
you problem.
Maybe.
is this guy related to Raven?
Could be. Sounds like it.
No, I don't
Sounds like
know a
Raven's
Raven.
jail buddy or something.
Yes, Raven and I shared a cell together, and we were butt pals. Yes, that's what we did.
Butt stuff.
No, I thought she
Buzz
framed,
out.
the sensitive things she wanted to talk about like pretty, carefully. So it's just she's just starting out with, men and women might actually approach the world differently, and
I
so
maybe just don't like the phrasing she used on it
I can
because
agree with that. Yeah.
she could have phrased the way she said stuff much better and maybe I would agree with her, but because she phrased it the way she phrased it, I don't like how she said it. And I
That's
don't
called
agree with
tone
what she
policing.
said.
That's called tone policing, and it's vacuous.
One
Who
thing that
said
I
that?
maybe would have liked to see her emphasize a little bit more is, in what ways or what are some practical things women can do to express their emotions? You know what I mean?
Well, not only that, but there's like also skills that are taught when when you don't have emotional regulation and stuff like that. There's skills that are taught so that you can emotionally regulate and stuff like that. She didn't bother touching on any skills or anything like that to help emotionally regulate, like paced breathing or intense exercise or like changing temperature or anything like that. Like
Yeah, well, maybe it's
checking the
behind a
facts or anything like that,
behind
which
a paywall, and this is just like a
I don't know, but the fact of the matter is, like, you can't emotionally regulate unless you learn how to do these things. And my dog's gonna be really upset in 5 seconds.
like when I'm in a relationship, I don't expect like the woman I'm dating to like not tell me what her emotions is. I'm always curious about like how a woman's feeling. You know what I mean? But I
Well,
think
if you're in a
when
relationship with somebody, that
yeah,
should be something that you guys
right.
convey towards each
But
other.
a lot of I mean, and so I think it's mischaracterization if you think that what she's
Good.
saying is that just because men like that she's saying that, oh, men have more control of their emotions and men are just okay to suppress their emotions. I don't think that's what's going on, or that's what she's necessarily saying. I think it would be a mischaracterization to assume and then project that onto men and think that, oh, we're suppressing our emotions, that's what's really happening, and therefore that's what we're expecting of women. I mean, I can tell you from like first-hand experience, that's not what's going on. Like what she says resonates with me because a lot of the girls that, I've dated, like I'm always interested in how they feel, but a lot of times I don't get the sense that they're aware, whatever life circumstance or stresses they're feeling, they're not certain or able to identify their emotion to be able to communicate and effectively communicate that to me. You know what I mean? When I'm interested or try to express that, hey, I want to know what's going on in your life. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
most of that
sometimes,
stuff comes from dialogue.
yeah.
If you speak to a person properly, they can normally convey what they're thinking.
But what I'm saying is
Or
that, a
if
lot of times, like, I mean, it's
there's
not just
times when
women,
people
it's not
have
just
past
men. It's
trauma
just
and
like,
they have trouble opening up in the
okay,
first place.
yeah,
Then don't date those people, obviously.
yeah, obviously.
Well, what
Avoid
makes
them
them less? Maybe they
because they
need
have
somebody
trauma.
to be there.
Well,
They
because it's a
have
And
sign
trauma,
that
by
they
the
yeah,
can't,
time I
but
roll
they
yeah,
have
forward 30,
trauma,
she'll
but
know what.
it doesn't
maybe
mean
they
that
can
they're
work
less
on it
valued.
and
Yeah, Jen,
somebody
it's not
being
that
for
they're less valued.
them
It's
there
Maybe
actually
maybe
helps
if they were
them.
yeah,
maybe
but
if they
what
were
makes a
nurtured
successful
enough,
relationship?
she could fix. Someone could fix them if they were nurtured enough.
So
They could be
what?
Maybe
soothed
that's
into
why they have
healthiness.
trauma because they didn't have what they like needed growing up or something
Right.
throughout their
So
life.
you can fix
And
them,
So
right, baby?
maybe
Hey, baby, you can fix them, right?
it's not fixing them, it's helping them to fix themselves. It's not fixing them. You can't fix anybody. You can only
Yeah, I
fix
don't believe you can
yourself.
fix any
But
exactly.
if you find someone who can
Yeah,
help
mama, I got you.
you see what's wrong with you so that you know what you need to fix, that's a
Yeah,
little
but
different.
what is the
quote
value
unquote,
proposition for that man in that case that's
yeah,
gonna save you from your
there's
life?
that side too, but
It's not saving you. It's you're helping each other. You're watering each
Not how
other,
a
dude.
relationship
You're
works.
helping each other grow.
Simply just not how a relationship works.
Yeah.
No,
I-
but
Okay.
that's how mothering works. Don't you
No.
see? That's the instinct. Yeah, oh yeah, baby. You're being mama.
N- No. When you take care of each other emotionally, you have to take care of each other emotionally. Men
All
have
this
emotions too.
emotional nurturing stuff and helping people emotionally. Where do you think that comes from?
It's not
Psychology,
helping
Jewish
people
science.
It's
emotionally.
maternal.
It's
It's maternal,
not
and there's nothing wrong with
nurturing
that.
them.
I
It's
think you
giving
guys are
what you're
fucking.
getting.
I think you guys are speaking past each other because I do think there is a point to be said about how within a successful relationship, both individuals, through like their bonds and their habits, will, in best case scenario, end up growing and thriving together.
That's what
Um,
I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm saying. You
Well,
water each other. You help each other grow and thrive and better each other. You don't
Made up.
like
but this
No,
is the
yeah.
yin
So
and this is the yin and
I think
yang.
that's
The
important, right?
yin and
That's the
yes,
yang is
that's what
male
ideal.
and
you're
female.
that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
And you're
that's the
supposed to
ideal, but here's the thing. I think there's an important distinction here, right? That's the ideal, but I think for a successful marriage or successful coupling, like it's an unfair expectation to just assume that your other partner is supposed to fulfill your life in that way. And I think the point that
no.
the lady here is making is that as women or men, if you can't find that emotional happiness for yourself, you're not going to be able to provide that for your, significant other.
It's about duty and responsibility, and it always has been. And a good heuristic we can use is the success rates of marriages in the past. It's not this fucking psychology bullshit.
Yeah, you know what I think about this
Okay,
gem
well,
girl?
Can you elaborate on that?
It's
What I
about
think about
duty.
this gem girl? I think Gem just needs like a nice big hard
Hug?
hug.
So when
Yeah,
we look
hug.
at what happened after the Industrial Revolution, there was a precipitous drop off in marriage. Prior to that, monogamous couples were getting married and they were having 7 children each on average. After the result of the Industrial Revolution, the feminism came about and it fomented this idea that women have to go to college. As a result of this, during their most fertile years, they were in school. Another result of this being coalesced with the sexual revolution. When we look at the widespread of birth control, when we look at the way the music worked, when we looked at all these different levers within society that fomented these different things, really all that happened is that women were essentially going out to college, prostituting themselves because it was acceptable. And there were 2 reasons this was acceptable. One was birth control, and the other one was just the cultural milieu at the time. And then as
quick
a result,
question.
yeah,
Did you know that birth control was originally invented for women whose periods like were not regulated and it was supposed to be a period regulator?
Oh my God. That is not how you interject.
that is not
He
even
was
true in the
talking
first
about
place.
something totally different.
That's not
Well,
Let
even
him
I'm
true
cook.
just
in the
Let
first
him
saying he's
cook.
place.
Let
talking
him
about
finish
no,
his
women
point.
no,
being
no.
whores
It's
because of
Oh
birth
my God.
control when in
Yes,
We're not
reality
talking about
that's
yes,
your
not what it was
vagina. We're not
originally
talking about
invented for.
anything important, huh?
yeah, but
I'm not talking
that's
about
not even
mine.
true in the first place. If you understand
That is
anything about
true.
if you understand anything about the birth control, the CIA was largely involved in that process in the first place. So you're wrong, by the way. Anyway,
Am I wrong about the fact that doctors used to get women off because we're hysterical?
yeah, hysterectomies. I know what that is. Okay, great.
No, not
No, a hysterectomy?
hysterectomies.
Are you
They
fucking
used
kidding
to
me?
get
Are you
women
fucking
off
kidding me?
and make women
Oh
come
my
because of
god.
hysteria.
Yeah, man, a hysterectomy is the
Did it
removal
work?
of all the fucking parts that make a baby.
Did it
Not
work?
fucking,
Oh yeah,
oh
my
my
bad.
lord.
Yeah, you're right.
We are
Hey
happier when we
Jimmy,
come.
did it work? Yeah. Was it
No, it didn't
successful?
work.
We are happier when we come, but you guys are
So,
happier when
so
you
what's
come
wrong with
too.
that?
So hysteria isn't just an us thing.
Yeah, but how
I'm
you
just
express
saying.
yourself
The
is a you thing.
doctors invented
Yeah, you
vibrators.
know what? I'm
Yeah, I
feeling a
know.
little
Yeah,
bit
they
stressed
invented
out.
them because of that.
I'm feeling a little
That
stressed
was
out here. Like
yeah, it was a lot of
maybe
work
I should
without
just
the
snap one
machines.
off.
I mean, I think the crux
Yeah, you
of
should.
the
You
topic
guys
are
want to
the
hear me do it? Like
underlying emotional issues and how
I'll
to
breathe
No,
heavy and
pass.
like, hey, if I got a participant, then like, well, we can play fair game here. Like,
All right, Jimmy, you're up.
No thanks.
oh yeah, Jim, please come on. Help me out.
God, no.
Would you like if I talk like this?
No,
Is my
Ben.
voice softer? When my
Sean,
voice is
stop.
softer, does it turn you on a
Sean,
little bit
stop
more?
it.
Disgusting freak.
Yeah, I think you're getting turned on a little bit.
It's side effects.
The
All the
thing is,
gays get turned on too.
I think there's emotionally unintelligent women and there's emotionally unintelligent men, like our friend Sean here. It goes both
Oh,
ways.
I think that's a unfair assessment because you don't really know me.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
have to know you. I can know you by what you just said here and how you're approaching the topic.
You can know me based on your parameters of
Yeah.
what you think a person
You
should
know
be.
why? You know why? Because I'm harsher. I'm harsher
Parameters.
on men. That's what it is to be a man, right? If you act out as a man, guess what other men are gonna do? We're gonna fucking
You
beat you
go
up. That's just the
you
way
go
it is.
harder on men.
Men are yeah, and that's part of being a man. That's part of the men's experience.
We could all tell that was the
Dude.
case.
Yeah.
If a man
Fuck.
can't regulate his emotions, right, in society, you are looked down upon.
I don't believe
That's just
so.
the way it is.
Thank you,
That's
good
the
sir.
difference, right?
We all
If
understand.
you
Thank you.
can't if you can't hold your frame, don't expect a woman to respect you.
That's your social circle and the way that you perceive
Yeah.
reality.
I
It's
mean,
not
because you're just
actually
a
what's
beta male,
going on,
Sean.
bro.
Because you're just
It
a
is.
beta.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm a
exactly.
beta?
If you can't
God
respect
damn
yourself,
it.
no one's gonna respect you.
I didn't even know I was a beta. Fuck.
You're just like the fish.
You're a beta cuck. I'm just kidding.
Well, fuck me. Well, I guess like I don't even know what to say anymore. You know what? I'll just shut up then. If I'm a beta, I'll just sit here and jerk myself off in
Yeah,
silence.
well, yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. I mean, that's pretty pathetic,
You
but
didn't know you were beta all this time?
No, I had no fucking clue, dude. I didn't
Oh my
even know.
God.
Yeah, fucking Christ.
You could have
yeah,
been getting
don't
the
say Lord
benefits all
Name,
this
bro.
time. You could have signed up.
Also, I want to point out, just because you do use birth control doesn't mean you are effing around. Because, like, for me, I use it for I would be using it for hormonal stuff since like PCOS.
Not
So
good for you.
that's also for that. So it doesn't make
Yeah,
you
I
a
know
hoe,
that.
dude.
I
It's
know
not.
that. I know
Yo,
that. But
that
when you remove the consequences from having sex, such as children, then what does
It
that foment? That's
it doesn't
foment.
remove the consequences from having
Oh,
sex because there's always STDs. Those
so
are
what?
still consequences.
So
that's a good
what? It's
point.
not the same consequence as having a child.
Dealing with your ex's drunk calling you. It's a
yeah.
consequence
Well,
too.
If you
honestly,
don't want to
I'm
have
sure
a
Jemmy does that.
child,
I could just
if
hear
you don't
Jemmy calling up someone drunk right now.
I
when I was
don't
in
call up
when I was
anyone
in
drunk.
school, the girls that got prescribed birth control early because of hormonal issues were always the biggest fucking sluts, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, and it also changes your brain chemistry. It changes the people that you find attractive. What it does is it puts you in a a state where you're permanently ovulating. As a result of this, you find different people attractive than you would have normally have found naturally.
Wait, is that
I'm
So I should
literally
sorry,
probably
true?
stop
Abismo.
taking the 3 birth control pills I'm taking every day.
No wonder why you married my ex-husband.
Yeah.
You have an ex-husband. Why didn't that work out?
That's right. That's right. I remember reading about that. I forget which way it works. When they're ovulating all the time, they want someone obviously physically strong, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
Isn't
just
No,
that what it
bio.
is?
It's
it's the
And
No,
then
biological
opposite.
I'm
determinant.
oh,
kind of curious as to why Jem's ex-husband didn't work out as well.
It's the opposite.
It just didn't.
so they
They
want
want a beta
someone
male.
weaker that they can manipulate.
They want someone that's going to be a provider for them because
Yeah,
when they're
it's
ovulating,
just
they
Uh
natural.
feel yeah.
oh, I see. Yeah. So they're really getting into status and all
I
that
mean,
versus.
that's the thing. There are specific biological predeterminants. Um, it's a whole nother question where there are other psychological predeterminants. I'm less convinced by those kind of arguments than I am of like
I like how you guys
biologically
know women's
predetermined.
brains so well.
I just
And they're all
said like I'm
single.
less convinced by those type of arguments
Well, look, obviously, Mayama, I get that. I get
because
your
it's all perspectival at
emotional
that point.
contention.
Naoma.
There's no like universal predications derived of empiricism, right? But I mean, look, we can infer some norms about these things, lady,
Yeah,
right? You have to at least grant that, lady, right? Like, and I mean,
Lady.
if you grant that, I mean,
Lady.
hey, if you grant that, you're cooked also, right? So it's like, We don't need to infallibly know these things. We can just like, you know,
They call that
Hashtag
dead
reasons why
reckoning,
we don't need
like
you anymore.
horseshoes and hand grenades. You just got to be close.
well, yeah,
That's
when
not
you
even
say you
true.
don't need men anymore,
It's not even true. You can't regulate.
presumably that's
You
women.
can't regulate your own body temperature. You can't do infrastructure jobs. Without men, you'd be completely dead in the water. That's insane.
That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
true. That's not true at all.
It is
Well, we
true,
need
actually.
man. What
I
do you
have
mean?
blankets. I can regulate my body
I
temperature
saw
with my
that
blankets,
episode of
bitch.
Survivor where they put women on one island and men on the other. Did you guys see that? Guess what happened?
I don't watch
That's not even what I'm
Survivor.
Just
talking about.
Yeah,
fucking
I'm not a
guess
big
what
fan of
happened,
reality
and you were
TV.
right.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
they can't regulate their own body temperatures, so they can't do things such as infrastructure work. They can't do roofing work. They can't maintain the
That's
power grid.
bullshit. I know women roofers. I know women
Well,
electricians.
well, yeah. See, look, obviously, when she says they
You,
don't need
No, you
men,
don't.
right?
yes,
It's
I
not
do.
a
You
true
can't
thing,
No, you
right?
fucking
don't.
say they don't. My dad fucking worked in
I
fucking.
don't
He was
believe
a
you.
fucking tin knocker for his whole fucking life, and I met a lot of the fucking people he worked with. I worked at a law office for over 20 years, and fucking
Uh,
what we did was insurance law, and I had to help depose people. So yes, I have met women who do those jobs.
Somebody sounds a little mad.
the women who got
Somebody's
sexually
mad.
abused. That every woman in every male
No,
dominated field. Yeah, it wasn't a sexual abuse case. What was it?
You
no, it
guys are just
wasn't
being
sexual
dense
abuse.
as
It
fuck.
was women who were actually in charge of stuff who were being deposed, and people who weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing who got hurt on the job, not under the woman's supervision, but under other people's supervision. And they were one of the
A woman can't
electricians
lead.
that were there
Oh,
when
the
there
women were
were
perfect.
other
The
people
women were
So
there.
you're
perfect,
saying
and
that
they
women
deserved
Majorly
can't lead.
tapping, dude.
Awesome. So you're saying under a woman's
Majorly tapping.
disposition that
No, I'm not saying under a woman. I'm saying that a
she's not in charge of
woman
the company?
was
exactly what
deposed
she's saying.
in regards to something.
Yes,
A
because she's the
deposition
leader. If
is,
she's not, yeah, I know what a deposition is.
yeah.
You're a paralegal
She
and
is
you're
the
gonna say
leader
things
of
against that
her
shit.
part.
Yeah, go fetch me some coffee to the
That's not
lawyers.
what I did there. Thank
Doesn't make
you.
you an expert on
You're a
social issues.
paralegal. You have no law.
No,
You
I'm
have
not.
no. There's no way you pass the bar. That's insane.
You don't know me.
You said you were mentally ill.
So what? You can still be mentally ill and pass the bar. Did you know that most mentally ill people are fucking geniuses? Hello?
That's a
Based on what
myth.
You don't
heuristic?
have to
That's a
be
myth.
stupid
Autism
to
is
be
Based on
mentally
what
Most people
ill.
with
heuristic?
high IQ are very healthy and do very
Based on
well.
what heuristic? The fact that you even just said that proves to me that you're not even a lawyer. You just
Right.
pulled that
What
out of
is a
your
bell
ass.
Okay.
curve, lady? What's a bell curve? Explain
I
what a
never
bell curve
said
is.
I was a lawyer.
You said you worked at a law office for 20 years. That's
Yeah,
to prove.
I've worked
That's
Right.
at
to
a law
prove
office
something.
for 20 years.
Yeah, as a
Janitor.
janitor.
No, not as a janitor. I've worked in HR and I've helped put
Okay, then
together
you have.
documents and do
So
shit.
what? That doesn't mean anything.
So,
In HR, where she was hearing women bitch about men.
no, not women bitch about
Yeah.
men.
Women coming
No,
in. He looked at me funny. I was wearing a low cut dress, but he felt like he was staring at me nonstop.
no,
What can be done about this? Yeah, HR. You're in HR. You listen to people's complaints.
All right,
no. I
Jim, this is
pay
utterly ridiculous.
invoices and shit like that.
These guys obviously don't know how to treat you. Would you like to sidebar with me and we can have a chat, just the two of us?
I love this
Pathetic.
guy.
What a fucking freak.
That's funny.
You can suck my dick, cocksucker.
Wow, really eloquent as well.
Wait, are you talking to him or me?
They're
Because while
talking
I
to
am a
him. No,
cocksucker,
no.
no.
He was talking to him.
Talking to
The
you,
fact,
baby.
the fact that
He
you
wants you to
reduce
go.
yourself to a series of holes proves why no man should ever even be with you in the first place. What's your
Yep.
body count?
I would say just the opposite, but
Well, you're a
Yeah.
goomer, and you're
What do you
probably
think my
male,
body count
Reasonable.
is?
This
What do
entire
you think
conversation
my body count is,
illustrates
huh?
over
just
50.
how cooked the
Oh,
situation
really?
is.
Yep.
Like,
that's a
it completely got away.
why are we even talking
It
about this?
did. Why
What is
does this
happening in the
guy care
universe
about
right
my
now?
body count, which is not that high, by the
I want
way?
people to
Thank
go
you.
meta right in the middle. Did you even think about the fact that we're just on a floating rock in space? What are you guys even talking about?
All right, Jem. That's it. We're going somewhere else. Private, me and you, baby.
Stop being creepy.
He's funny.
What a coomer.
All right, fight. Never mind, Jem. Fuck you, Jem. Fight. You want to go somewhere private, me and you?
No.
We don't want to go
That
talk a
that
little bit.
that was dripping with yes in that no.
We can go talk about stuff if you want.
Fight you, but I won't fuck ya.
Look, this is why you'll never be married in your life. This is why
I
your
don't want to
first
be
marriage,
married again.
yeah, your first marriage failed. You're never gonna have kids. You failed as your
I
duty as a
don't
woman.
want kids.
That's
Why would I want to
wow.
bring kids into a place where there's already
You
kids
believe
that
in
exist?
great. You
God
believe
damn
in
it, Jem.
evolution,
You're
right?
not
Have
supposed to
family.
Because
You
fucking.
you're a
believe in
normal human
evolution,
being.
You're not
correct?
even supposed to fucking justify that you don't have kids. Just shut the fuck up and just say like something else. You don't have to
You believe in
retort every
evolution,
single thing.
correct? You believe in evolution, correct?
Yeah, and I believe that there's a bunch of kids out there that don't have
Well,
families.
aren't you lucky your parents didn't feel the same way and
Yeah.
you're
Actually,
here
I
Well, if
was
with
an
you
us?
believe in
accident.
evolution, then you understand that the primary mechanism for evolution is the passing on of your offspring, your genetic lineage, right?
And you realize that some people shouldn't do that, right?
No, it's
Because
It's
well
some
just a
people
propaganda that you
have
were taught.
because they have
it
mental
and
disorders.
pass down and pass down and
Jews
pass
literally
down
made
and
this
pass
up, buddy.
down.
I can
Jews
I can
made this
tell
up.
right now that
The reason
fight
that you
was
think
like
this is
a
because Jews made this up.
fight was a cum shot
Did
that
you
his
say
dad
that
hit
Jews
above the
made
ass
this
crack
up?
and
Yes, they
trickled
did.
down and
It's part
rolled
of the
through the ass
JQ.
crack into the vagina to make him such a fucking asshole or a piece of shit, whatever you want to call it. Because his views are just in fucking insane.
Appeal to incredulity and formal fallacy.
Now again, Jem, let's go somewhere else, baby.
From my
I don't really
experience,
like how you're
dealing with
talking to
women,
me.
not all the goal is not to be stable and happy, even though they say they want these things. I think stability and happiness shuts down the emotional roller coaster, and that roller coaster is what they really want. It is the point. The emotional roller coaster feels good and makes them feel alive. But true happiness and contentment does not bring those highs and lows, that adrenaline rush. They will stay with a
You're
man who provides stability, but one of two things will happen. They'll either move on to a troubled man eventually, a person who gives them drama, or they'll stay with the stable guy but complain the whole time for unhappiness. So happiness is bad, while drama, instability, and unhappiness is good.
Well, may I make a counter to that?
No,
You know
shut the
what you
fuck
what
up.
you what you should
all right.
what you should think
We
about
go.
is don't think about what women think. It doesn't matter what they're doing or why. Be a behavioralist. Just pick the levers and press the buttons to get the behavior you want. If it takes taking them out 2 times a week, if it takes buying them gifts 1 time a month, if it takes saying whatever needs to be said about the compliment on the clothes they're wearing, just do, celebrate anniversaries, fuck them
Jesus
regularly,
Christ.
and then you'll have what you really want. And so
Listen,
don't try to get
Actually,
in their
that's
head.
not a lie.
What is the
yo,
practical expedient to that?
yo,
You don't
Jem,
waste
you
your
should
don't waste your time
Jem, you
thinking about
should
what they're
jit
thinking
up
about.
these motherfuckers. You should jit up a couple of these guys. But I'm going to think about somewhere else.
Every single woman I have ever met claims to be emotionally and the most emotionally intelligent person alive. Your experience may vary. You know who has confidence in themselves? People who don't ask for approval and people who don't talk about what they or how they don't need approval. Why are women so obsessed with happiness? How can you go through a full day in perpetual happiness? Being happy is a
Oh
temporary
my
emotional
god.
feeling. Happiness is getting a hug from your child. You are not going to hug your child for 14 hours a day. Being content in life with the things and experiences you have is the daily goal. Having crazy expectations of perpetual happiness is absurd. Look at the pictures of men and women from the 1800s. Nobody is smiling. Nobody 150 years ago or longer had time to think about if they
This
were
chat
happy or
GPT you're
unhappy.
reading is
Our
wrong.
great
It's a bit of a
grandparents had duties,
all right.
hard
We have to
work,
listen to this chat
purpose, and
GPT
agency to
spewage.
fill
Like
fill
it's
their
like
days.
That's not
modern
what
tech
that's
and
not what
advances in
reaching happiness means,
civilization
that you're
has allowed
constantly
most people to
seeking
become lazy,
second by second
useless,
happiness. That's not what it
and
means.
general pieces of shit.
Stop
There
reading.
is no contentment anymore. Comparison to other people's grandiose lives has caused a corrosion of contentment, which results in dissatisfaction and bitterness. I'm just reading the comments. In my experience, women need to study and hold themselves accountable to basic ethical principles. I can't speak for other men, but my problems with women have all stemmed from very basic things, like them misrepresenting themselves, failing to demonstrate loyalty when I have been loyal to them, not following through on agreements, whether implicit or explicit, etc. Because it is assumed that women are the most vulnerable gender, they typically are given a pass when it comes to reneging on promises or being duplicitous. This has to stop.
Maybe we should all just stop picking the wrong people.
I I think there's a lot to that.
Maybe that's what most of this is. Maybe it's just we're picking the wrong people for us, and that's what it is.
No, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's really sad when you start looking at these comments, like especially the ones on the other videos. It's like people who have been like married for like 28, 30 plus years, and they're like, this has been happening to me, and now I'm filing for divorce and all this stuff. So it's literally like happening right now to like our parents' generation and like Generation X.
You know what's really fucked? Is that like I've gotten messages in Facebook and stuff like that from married men who are supposedly Catholic and blah 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 blah, but they want to like hook up. Like, you're married, dude. Aren't you supposed to love your wife?
Never happened.
Never happened.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I only messaged you that one time.
Yeah, and you were looking to hook up.
Obviously, that was a joke, you fucking imbecile, you stupid bitch.
Luce!
Yo, hold it back. Character and self-control are important for both men and women. The self-control in both cases is to prevent bad behavior. That said, men and women tend towards different kinds of bad behavior. As you point out, women need emotional self-control to prevent them from creating their own chaos.
No, what it's really just all about is duty. And like I went over this example when I was talking about the Industrial Revolution, the advent of birth control, and all these other things. These led to a collapse of duty, and specifically, what happened with the feminist movement and all this other nonsense. It led to women going to college. As a result of going to college, they get ran through. And when they go to college and they waste their fertile years, it, there's two different vectors that this works from. One, now they can't create as many children because they're near the age where they are no longer fertily capable. And then the other thing is that they have all these different experiences, so now they can't even be happy whatsoever anymore. So it's really just about duty.
What if fucking a bunch of people makes you happy?
What if doing
What if
heroin
you're
makes you
so
happy?
happy with yourself that you don't give a fuck about having to pleasure somebody else, that you're so into your own pleasure that you don't care, you just fuck a bunch of people?
What is your basis for moral epistemics?
I'm just asking you.
Why don't you
Why do
do
you have to
heroin?
choose one person?
Why don't you just do heroin?
I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I'm not saying I want to fuck a bunch of people, but I'm saying, why are you stating that it has to be one way or no way? That's like telling me that my way of thinking is wrong because you're
You
basically
are.
black and
It
white
is
thinking
wrong.
yourself.
Great, it is wrong because we can just look at these different heuristics. One of the heuristics that we can use for you very specifically, you claim that you have mental illness, right?
Yeah.
You claim that you went to behavioral cognitive therapy. So obviously what you were doing in your life wasn't really working out for you.
I went to therapy because that's what you do that's how you fix borderline personality disorder. You can't medicate it.
Mm.
You can only help borderline personality disorder by going to therapy.
Yo, man, this one dude I think is like blocking me. What's his name? Fight or whatever. I tried to get Jem into a private room, just me and her, and like you're not making it work, dude. You're not helping here.
I don't care.
Why do you keep trying to pull a girl in like a discussion about marital relationships?
Because I want to
So
get
creepy,
marital
dude. Yeah, no,
relationships
you're
up.
right. You're thirsty, dude. You're just a coomer.
I guess.
If you come to this room, I'm just letting you know right now. I'm just gonna take you out, right? And I'm gonna quench your thirst by drowning you in the fucking ocean. Okay?
I'm sorry, my brain went
You
so
sound
dirty with
salty,
that.
dude. He's just trying to play his riz, get some game up.
Yeah, man.
Let him cook.
Fucking haters gonna hate.
This is pathetic. This is what this fucking stupid monkey idiot was coming on here and saying, "Oh, you guys don't get girls. How could you do that?" And then now you're just sitting here just trying to pull this girl away because you don't speak to women. That's pathetic. You're a
Oh,
loser.
what? Oh my god, dude. If you really
Shouldn't
I'm
you
want
not
to
be
play,
towards
shouldn't you
you.
man.
be encouraging this behavior? Isn't this exactly what you're criticizing him for not doing?
Exactly.
How am I doing?
No, we're
You
criticizing
have
him for not being a
absolutely have
man.
no idea what I'm saying whatsoever.
Yeah.
If that's the takeaway,
No, I just find you like a little bit like too chauvinistic, to be honest. But okay.
yeah, I don't care.
I mean, you're the materialist here.
I don't know. Her voice sounds nice.